Beautiful people, welcome back to our channel and thank you so much for joining the channel today. If you are new here guys, today I'm going to be talking about studies in Switzerland, and I would like to go gradually because of my stuff on my jotter on things I've written down here to explain to you properly. Now I want to draw your attention to the fact that Switzerland is a country in Europe. It's not a member of the European Union. I don't know. It belongs somewhere with Norway, Iceland, and the others, but I don't know if it's European Union or Schengen. Anyways, please verify all these details. All I'm here is to give you tangible information that you need to know. Remember, Switzerland is bordered by France, Italy, Germany, and it's also a very beautiful country, a landlocked country, and a very private country. You may live with Swiss people around you and you may never know, but I like that because that is what privacy is all about. Today, I want to talk about some very important things that will occur very soon. Application is starting very soon in Switzerland. And the reason why I'm talking about this video is because tuition fee in Swiss universities are very cheap. With $850 to like $1,300, you can study in Swiss universities. But there are a lot of things you need to understand, and I'm here to break them down to you. Point number one, I will be talking about application period, universities, and some of the things that you need to know. Then I will talk about tuition fee. I will talk about the documentations that you need and a whole lot of other things. First, let's talk about the visa. Where are you going to be applying for the visa, the Swiss study visa or the study visa to Switzerland? You are going to be applying at any Swiss embassy or consulate in your home country. Again, remember, you don't need legalization, and some programs may need you to show English proficiency, others may not. Most of the applications will be open in January, but some are quite open right now, but you are going to watch videos explaining a few details to you so you understand better. Now, remember, if you want to apply for the visa to Switzerland, you are going to be using the German language, the French, and the English language. And remember, visa usually takes at least 3 months, 4 or 5 months, so you should apply as fast as possible. There are many visa categories to study in Switzerland, but which one are you going to be applying for? One, when you apply for the visa and arrive in Switzerland, you are going to be applying after 14 days, or I think 10 to 14 days or 15 days or so. You are going to be applying for what is called the residence permit. When you go to Switzerland, there are 3 different types of permits. The first permit you are going to apply for is the one that is for people who are staying in Switzerland for less than 1 year or 1 year maximum. All right, it's called the L permit. Then the B permit is for those that are going to stay in Switzerland for more than 1 year. This is your own category of permit, student permit. Then the C permit is the one they call permanent residency. You have to live in Switzerland for some time before you can apply for the C permit. So this is what you need to know first of all before you move. Then now let's take a look. Health insurance, of course, as an international student you need a health insurance to cover you. I want to give you these general informations before I come back and give you the real gist about application. Then to apply to Swiss universities, you just need to know the course you want to study, search for universities, check the course of that particular program, then check eligibility, then you check the programs, you are good to go, you apply. Then if you are applying for bachelor's, master's, or PhD, it now depends on you and what you want to take a look at. Now let's take a look at the general documentations that you are going to use to apply to universities in Switzerland before we take a look at some of the universities that are present in Switzerland. But before I even forget, proof of funds is what you really need. Proof of funds is what is going to keep a lot of students behind, and they may not be able to apply to Swiss universities. Now, for documents you need to study in Switzerland, they include secondary school diplomas and of course your transcripts. If you have your YX certificate, your O-level certificate, your baccalaureate examination, and the transcripts, then this is what you need to apply for bachelor's degree. Those who want to apply for masters, you need your BSc transcripts and the certificate as well. Extra documents or additional documents are your CV, which is curriculum vitae, and a statement of purpose or motivation letter. Then you equally need recommendation letters, which are letters written by your professors or your workplace to explain your usefulness in the job site and why they actually love you and stuff like that. But recommendation letters must be available. It depends if you are applying for masters or PhD. It depends the program as well. Some may not ask you this recommendation letter, but know this. Equally, some other programs may ask you for a portfolio. Portfolio are written documents you've done before, and of course there is an entrance exam in some other programs. Remember, if you're applying for PhD, you may need to show a research proposal. Now, these are the requirements you need to apply to some of these schools. Some schools in Switzerland include the University of Basel, University of Geneva, University of Zurich, University of Bern, ETS Zurich, University of Freiburg, University of Neuchâtel. Then you equally have teacher training institutions. Okay, so you should check them. Federal universities like ETS Zurich and University of Zurich. Then you can also check them out. There are other schools in Switzerland that you could put into consideration. And these tuition fees I'm talking about, these schools, they are very cheap, all right? But just know that there are 4 different categories of these schools I gave you few minutes back. Now, the different types of universities in Switzerland include federal universities, which include ETS Zurich and the University of Zurich. And there is another one. I think there is another research institution in Lausanne, I think so, which is also a federal university. Then when it comes to cantonal universities, you have about 10 cantonal universities. That's universities that belongs to various cantons, like those in Basel, those in Geneva, those in Zurich. Then you equally have University of Applied Sciences in Switzerland. University of Applied Sciences, they have the logo UAS. All right, cantonal university have the logo UNI. Then applied science federal universities have the logo ETH. All right, then there is another group of universities in Switzerland, making them 4. They are called teacher education universities, those that train just teachers. This is what you need to know about Swiss universities and how their classification is done. Now, if you are looking for the other university I mentioned before, which I said is in Lausanne, it's called the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology. It is located in Lausanne. Or you also check ETS Zurich, which is Swiss Federal Institute of Technology. This one is in Zurich. So these are the 2 federal universities. I already talked about 10 cantonal universities. So these are some of the schools in Switzerland, and you should look at them. The application procedure is very easy. It's not that complicated. And now, for the federal universities, the cantonal universities, the applied science university, and the teacher training universities, when is their application? Now, federal universities are already closing, almost closing, because today is already what's the date of today? Around the 4th. Then ETS Zurich and the other federal universities are open. They usually open on the 1st of November to the 15th of December. That's around just few days, right? Yes, around 1 month and few days. So that is what you should know. They don't take time they don't give you enough time to apply for your admissions. Then cantonal universities, they usually open from 1st of January to 28th of February. So you can see the application timeline is very small. Then for the other universities like the applied science universities and the teacher training universities, also within that time. Now, when it comes to tuition fee, what's the average tuition fee? Remember, in Switzerland, you pay tuition fee plus semester fee. And putting all these together, federal universities charge around 850 Swiss franc, which is equivalent to 850 USD. Cantonal university charge around 1,300. Very cheap, guys. Imagine paying $1,300 for a school in Switzerland. So, like I always say, the main problem here is usually just the proof of funds or the bank statement or whatever, because they need around 21,000 Swiss franc. I think I was checking few days back and I noticed that all you need to supply to them now is 18,000 Swiss franc. That's closer to like 14 million CFA francs or something like that. Then applied science universities, they charge around 1,250 Swiss franc per semester. Same like the teacher training university. Some may be expensive more than this, guys. I didn't say this is the actual amount you need. Some schools are usually expensive more than this. Then when you know all of this, now it is now time to go check the programs you need. Which program do you want? Is it existing in this particular university? If no, go to the next university. After that, you are good to go. Then when you get admissions, remember there is an application fee you have to pay during the application's timeline or stage. When you pay this, they are going to evaluate your documents, and after some time you are going to get admissions. This is where visa application begins, where you are going to look for all those documents now. Then you book an appointment, you go to the Swiss embassy or consulate, depending on where you are, and you apply for your visa. Remember to give time for them to process your documents, because it takes at least 3 months, 2 to 3 months for them to come out with a proper result. So you have to give them time. This is very important, guys. I think this is all about studies in Switzerland. Remember I said that money must the proof of funds. Before I go, let me explain a little about the proof of funds. It's not every bank that you put this money. As a matter of fact, there are 3 things you need to do with the proof of funds. That money must be 21,000 Swiss franc. The first thing is you either look for a bank in your home country that has a branch in Switzerland. Any bank that is connected to Switzerland in your home country, look for it, open an account in that bank, then deposit money. Okay, that's the option number 1. And I think in one of my videos I mentioned all the list of banks you could check. Go to them and ask them. Then if they confirm, because of course they know where they work, internationals must have passed through them. You are not the first person to do it. So if they confirm, you open the account, then transfer the money inside, then you use for your visa application. Then the second option is if you have someone who lives and works in Switzerland, they can give you an affidavit of support to show that they are the one to take care of you. Otherwise, if you have to get to the third option, you either tell your university to open an account for you, then you transfer the funds inside so that you can use the application. Now you are opening it in Switzerland, or you look for a bank in your home country that has a branch in Switzerland, or a bank in Switzerland that has a branch in your home country. This is the best way I think we can put it. Then this way, when you get everything now, the documents for the account, you are now good to go. You add your educational credentials, write your statement of purpose, add your other certificates, and you apply for the Okay, to end this video, I just want to draw your attention to the fact that many schools in Switzerland are going to open their portals very soon, and I think admissions to Swiss universities is going to start January. Remember, if you want to apply to Switzerland, you should remember that there are cantonal universities, there are universities of applied sciences, there are equally teacher training universities, and there are federal universities. All these universities, none of them goes above 1,500. Some are below 900, some 1,250, and the others 1,300, 800, some even. Just make sure you follow those videos. Check universities like University of Lugano, University of Bern, University of Geneva, ETS Zurich. These are some of the schools you should be checking. University of Neuchâtel, University of Freiburg. There are a lot of them in Switzerland. Check these schools and apply from January 2024 because their tuition is cheap. Now, remember, schools in Austria will equally start next year as well, and Austria tuition is very cheap as well. But before you apply to all these countries, make sure you pay attention to one thing: proof of funds. Proof of funds is very heavy in most of these countries. So I'm just here to explain to you so that you understand what you are going to be doing at the end of the day. Then another thing you should remember is that the process of getting visa to Malta has changed. You are going to watch a full video on my YouTube channel. And again, remember, visas to Lithuania now, not visas anyway, residence permits or permits to Switzerland, to Lithuania are gotten from Dubai, Lebanon, or Jordan. So you are not going again to Egypt. For those who didn't know, maybe from January next year things will change. So I'm going to be updating you depending on what is available. And again, do not forget that proof of funds is very important. There are very low tuition countries in Europe, but the issue is you need to show that you have money to study in these countries, and I'm going to be explaining a lot of things to you guys. I hope this helps you.